Good day to all. I am Shivani and today I am going to take up the topic research metrics. Let's start. Research metrics. The term metrics refers to the act of measuring something. We use various indicators to assess published research's effect on academic publishing. To estimate the journal's importance and impact on the field of the study, we look at how many times a paper is being cited by author or subject, as well as how many times a given piece of journal is being mentioned. Quantitative tools used to assess the quality and effect of the research outputs are known as the research metrics. We are aware of the metrics called impact factor, which is a good metrics to identify the quality of a journal and the research work taken up in the journal. But since it has certain flaws, so there are many new matrices available that can decide and help you to identify the quality of the journal's research. So bibliometrics, citation analysis, and altmetrics, which is a newer collection of an alternative method for tracking and analyzing scholarships using social media, are some of the examples of the research metrics. It's all too easy to go for the basic numbers and explorate the meaning, but don't read too much into the measurements. So this is basically the effective method to think of matrices as questions rather than answer. This will help you to analyze the effect of the matrices much easier way. Matrix merely states what is the count, what is the total number of time the work has been viewed, how many times has the journal been downloaded, how many citations were there. So there are basic questions that's that directs you to know about what is the answer. So to properly analyze your matrix, think less about what questions and instead utilize them as jumping off into the deeper, like who, how, and why. Like we as follows: who is reading the journal, where are they based, their role, and how are they accessing it, who are the key authors in the subject area, where are they publishing now, how are users responding to your content, are they citing it in the journals, mentioning it in the policy documents, how is your subject area developing, what are the hot topics, emerging fields, and key conversations, why was the specific article being successful. So focusing too much on one measure makes it simple to distort the overall image of your study metrics. Like for example, if you wish to increase your impact factor by publishing more highly cited articles, you might overlook low cited pieces that your research frequently utilize. So as a result, if you choose to publish solely highly cited content just to increase your impact factor, you may risk losing the value of the journal to a specific segment of your readership. So now, use of research matrices for different people. So here first comes the researchers. For researchers, metrics can help you to choose which journal to submit your work to and assess the ongoing impact on an individual's piece of research. For journal editors, metrics helps you assess your journal's standing in the community. You are able to identify the standing, like the position of your journal, it is on which position in the community, raises your journal's profile and supports the growth in the high quality submissions. As the point of view of the librarians, metrics can help you select journals of your institutions and analyze their usage and impact. They can also help you assess the impact of the research published by those in your institution. So research metrics can be categorized into three parts. These are journal level matrices, article level matrices, and the author level matrices. First, we will take up with the journal level matrices. First one to go is the journal matrices. So journal level matrices used to determine the impact a journal has on the scientific community. Like it seeks to assess a particular journal's quality. The theory is that the journals with the higher number of citations must be more respected and attract higher quality publications. The journal impact factor, also known as the impact factor, is the oldest and the most extensively used measure. However, it has been criticized for having too short analytical windows, that is just for the 2 years, and failing to reflect the differences in the citation rates between the disciplines. So to oppose the impact factor, there are other matrices that have emerged. So the matrices that falls under the category of the journal level is the impact factor, Eigen Factor, SGR, SNIT, CiteScore. So the calculations period and whether the matrix includes all the things in the journal or simply the citable items are important considerations. Measures that incorporate all components tend to be more accurate. The first one to take up is the impact factor. Impact factor is perhaps the most well-known indicator for judging journal success. It was created in 1960s to assist librarians with the collection management, and it is now evolved into a widely used indicator of a journal quality. It is the average number of citations of an article, a proceeding, or a review published in a journal in the last 2 years. It is published in JCR and it is published on annual basis and can be found out on the websites of the journals. Also, journal metrics include 5-year journal impact factor and it is useful to find the quality research. So, how to calculate the impact factor? Web of Science Journals Citation Reports calculates and publishes the results annually, as already said. So the formula is number of citations received in 1 year to content published in Journal X during the 2 previous years divided by the total number of articles and review published in the Journal X within the previous 2 years. So with the examples, it can be understood as uh, the 2014 impact factors, which was released in 2015, used the following calculations as the number of citations received in 2014 to the content published in Journal X during 2012 and 2013, which is divided by the total number of articles and reviews published in Journal X in 2013 and 2012. This is how we calculated number of articles, citations in 2014, where we will include 2012 and 2013 articles published, divided by the number of articles published in 2012 plus 2013. will in will get you with the impact factor of 2014. So, we have received as a journal, it's received 1500 citations in 2014, which included 350 published articles in 2012 and 400 published articles in 2013, divided by the 350 articles published in 2012 plus 400 articles published in 2013, which is the total 750 articles published during 2012 and 2013. So the impact factor comes out to be 2 for 2014. So the question arises how to get the impact factor of the journal. As an official impact factor is awarded only to the journals included in the Science Citation Index expanded or the Social Citation Science Citation Index. To be eligible for the coverage in these Web of Science indices, journals must meet the various criteria. The first step to receiving an impact factor is to feature in the emerging sources citation index. So first you need to have emerged to receive the impact factor. You must have been featured in the emerging sources citation index. Now, how to calculate what is the 5-year impact factor? The 5-year impact factor is a variant to the impact factor that uses the data from 5 years rather than the 2 years. As earlier, the normal data that has been used is for the 2 years. Now, for the 5-year impact factor, we will include the data of the 5 years. The 5-year impact factor is more effective in the field where work takes longer to be referenced or if the research has a longer shelf life. As more articles and citations are considered in the computation, it provides more consistency for smaller titles. However, it has many of the same drawbacks as in the classic impact factors. So these are almost same in the way of drawbacks. So this is how we calculate the 5-year journal impact factor. Cites in 2014 to items published in 2013, 12, 10, 11, 10 and 9. So these all sums up to be 95,400 and number of items published in 2013, 12, 11, 10, 9 sums up to be 1754. So the calculation goes as cites to recent items upon, or you can say divided by the number of recent items. So the sums was 95,400 divided by 1754. So the impact factor for the 5-year comes out to be 54.93. So with the help of the formula, you can calculate for the maximum of 5 years. Now we'll discuss on the advantages of the impact factor. Since it is a tool for academic evaluation, it enhances the quality and prestige of the journal. The impact factor is a valuable measure for assessing the journals. It provides quantitative techniques for comparing, rating, reviewing, and characterizing journals. From the point of view from the different people, the advantages comes as for the point of view of the librarian, it acts as a support in selecting and removing journals from their collections and determining how long to keep each journal in the pool for archiving it. From the point of view of the publishers and the editors, impact factor acts as their marketing tool to determine the journal's influence in the marketplace and review editorial functions. From the point of view of the authors, it helps as a tool to identify the most appropriate, influential journal in which to publish It also confirms that the status of the journal in which they have published. As the part of the professors and the students, the impact factor is a tool to discover where to find the current reading list in their respective fields. Disadvantages of impact factor. The impact factor only considers the number of citations and not the nature or the quality. Impact factor shows a significant variation year on year, especially in smaller journals. It is in the arithmetic mean and does not adjust for the distribution of citations. Also, the JCR does not distinguish between the citations made to the articles, reviews, or the editorials. The other disadvantages is that it also have an inadequate international coverage. Due to impact factor only a few journals from the less developed countries have been included in the Web of Science or the Scopus. It covers very few journals in social science and humanities. Also, the impact factor can be easily manipulated. The self-citations of authors and self-citations of journals increases the impact factor. Eigenfactor. The second journal level of research metric is the Eigenfactor. It gives the highest weightage citations from influential journals and does not consider the self-citations. See, impact factor can be varied if self-citation, that is, if a person is citing his own publication. So, in order to remove this flaw, the Eigenfactor has been taken up in such a way that self-citations are not considered by calculations. The Eigenfactor is based on the average citations in the JCR year to paper published in the last year, 5 years. It is calculated using an algorithm to rank the influence of journals according to the citations they receive. Also, the Eigenfactor is published in JCR and sources its data for Web of Science. So the journal self-citations are not included in the 5-year and it doesn't take journal size into the account. So the formula it comes out to be as number of citations in 1 year to the content published in the journal X in the previous 5 years, that is weighted, divided by the total number of articles published in journal X within the previous 5 years. SJR SMIGO Journal Rank. You must have observed SJR written in many journals whenever you send your research paper to a certain journal. SJR aims to capture the effect of the subject field, quality, and reputation of a journal on citations. It calculates the prestige of the journal by considering the value of the source that cites it, rather than counting all the citations equally. So citations not calculated as a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, not calculated in that way. It is considered according to the prestige. Also, it is based on the average number of weighted citations in a year to that published in the last 3 years. SJR uses the information from Scopus and SJR is published in SMIGO journals and country rank reports. As a result, a citation from a high SJR journal is worth more than a citation from a low SJR journal. SNIP, Source Normalized Impact per Paper. SNIP, what is that? It is basically measures the citations received against the citations expected for the subject field. It uses Scopus database for that. SNIP is published twice a year.
It is based on the weighted citations in a year to paper published in the last 3 years. It is same like SJR. It is published in CWTS journal indicators, and the main is the Scopus where it is published. See, this is the main point that I would like to discuss, that it is also correct. It also corrects the difference in citation practices in different disciplinary, making it easier to compare the matrix across the various subject fields. As you can see that there may be a possibility that in certain disciplines citations are more, in certain there are less. By calculating SNP, it makes it easier to compare the different disciplines of various fields. So the formula is like journal citation count per paper divided by citation potential in the field. SNP normalizes its data to make cross-disciplinary comparison possible, as I already discussed. SNP also considers citations of a specific content type like articles, reviews, and conference papers, and does not count the citations from the publications that Scopus classifies as non-citing sources. Cite score is the next matrix we are taking. Cite score is the ratio of the citations to the research published. It is currently available for the journals and book series index in Scopus. Only peer-reviewed content such as articles, reviews, conference papers, book chapters, and data papers is considered in the cite score calculation. It contains the 8 complementing indicators, including cite score tracker, cite score percentile, citation count, and the others. So, cite score matrices are: first, current. Our monthly cite score tracker helps you to update about the latest progression towards the next annual value, which makes it the next cite score more predictable. It's comprehensive, like it's based on the Scopus, the leading scientific citation database. Third is it's clear, values are transparent and reproducible to individual articles in Scopus. So you can calculate cite score as number of citations recorded in Scopus in 1 year to content published in Journal X in the last 4 years divided by the total number of items published in the Journal X in the previous 4 years. Now let's see how do cite score and the impact factor differ. Cite score is based on the Scopus database instead of Web of Science. The number of citations and the journal coverage in specific subject area is significantly higher. The impact factor employs a 2-year citation frame, whereas the cite score uses a 4-year citation window. The impact factor is only available for journals indexed in the SCIE and the SSCI, but the cite score covers all the topic areas. Now the next in the row is the article level matrices. This is one of the type of the research metrics. Article level matrices. What does it mean? Article level matrices are used to quantify the impact of the published articles and how published papers are being discussed and shared. It is not concerned with the journal, it is considered with the articles. So the article level matrices process uses various sources of information. These quantitative matrices allow you to track how the readers interact with your publications. Article level matrices are used to measure the impact of the published articles or how they are discussed and shared, as I already said. So the process makes the use of variety of data sources, which includes citation counts, flaws, alt metrics out in top percentiles. Now first we'll talk about the citation counts. It indicates the other researchers have referred to your publication in their publications. Citation counts can be found in various places, but Google Scholar, Scopus, and Web of Science are the most popular multidisciplinary databases. The citation counts for each article tracked in these databases will be more than likely differ across all three because each includes different publications in their databases. First one we'll take up as the article level metrics, that is PLOS. It measures the reach and the impact of the individual articles using academic and social sources, highlighting how scientists and the journal public engage with the research. This includes downloads, citations, blogs, media coverage, social media shares, comments, and Wikipedia mentions. The article level metrics reveals the influence of an article before the accumulation of citations. It helps prioritize what to read in the growing body of the open access literature and helps to assess the impact of the funding sources. The article level metrics shifts the conversation surrounding an article's influence away from the journal and towards the individual article. The Scopus Nature Publishing Group has also included article-level matrices in its metric system for assessing an article's impact. Not far behind, Frontier and Biomed Central, on the other hand, has included alt metrics in their databases. The second one in the article level metrics is the alt metrics. The term alt metrics refers to a broad concept encompassing collecting different digital indicators related to scholarly activities. Alternative metrics or alt metrics is a term that refers to a wide range of indicators for a digital object such as downloads, views, likes, shares, social media mentions such as blogs and twitters, as well as the software reuse. These matrices accumulate quicker than citation metrics and are indicatives of reach beyond academia. Altmetrics services are currently provided by the three primary companies, altmetrics.com, Plum Analytics, and the Impact Story. Altmetrics have been integrated into a web platform of many publishers. For example, Plum Analytics is used on the Scopus records. Altmetrics.com has made a free bookmarklet accessible that allows you to get altmetrics data for any of your article with the TOI. The next in the row is the output and the top percentile as the next article level metrics. This represents the percentage of your article that appears in a data source most cited threshold, that is Scopus, per publishing year. It is used for a group of journal articles and normalizes for the area you publish in. Research analytics tools such as Skywall or Insights calculate outputs in the top percentiles as a metric. Skywall is a web-based analytics tool for visualizing research publishing performance. You can sign into the Skywall using your Elsewhere login for Science Direct, Scopus, and other Elsewhere products. Now we'll discuss upon the author level metrics. That's the third level metrics. Author level metrics is the third level metrics of the research metrics. Author level metrics can track a researcher's impacts in a particular field of study. Author metrics used to track how often the author's work is cited and to reflect the reflect the reach and the impact of the researcher's work. The number of citations to an author's article is usually used to measure their impact. Such impact factors can help in promotion and tenure, as well as aiding in funding and grants. So, the author level metrics includes three metrics, that is H index, G index, and Itin Index. First, we'll take up the H index. H index is the Hershey first represented the H index in 2005 as an author level research metric. The H index seeks to qualify a researcher's productivity as well as the influence of the research articles on citations. Now, what's the H index and how it's being calculated? H index calculation is like number of articles published which have received the same number of citations. For example, if you have published at least 15 papers that have each been cited 15 times or more, you will have a H index of 15. The databases with H index are Scopus, Web of Science, Google Scholar, Microsoft Academic Research. These are the softwares where, the databases where you can find the H index and calculate. Now we'll discuss on the advantages and the disadvantages of the H index. H index advantages are it's easy to calculate. The H index was intended to address the disadvantages of the other bibliometrics indicators such as the total number of papers or the citations. It performs better than other single number criteria only commonly used to evaluate the scientific output of a researcher. H index can be easily obtained by accessing the Web of Science, Google Scholar, Scopus, and it's very easy to understand. Now, disadvantages are as follows. There are some situations where H may provide misleading information about the scientist's output. The total number of publications bounds the H index. This means that the scientists with a short career are an inherent disadvantage. All citations are taken into account, whether they are positive or negative in nature. Different databases will give different H index because of the coverage, like the area, years, or the kind of sources they index of each database, namely Web of Science, Scopus, and Google Scholar. Now let's see how we can search for the H index in the Web of Science. Finding an author's H index in the Web of Science, we need to go to the website of Web of Science database. Once in Web of Science, need to click on the option Documents. As shown in the figure, the documents contains the drop-down list in which all the fields, topics, titles, publisher's name, authors is available. Do searching with the authors from the drag down list where you can enter the name of the author and click on the search button. After selecting the author's name, you will get the list of the author's named articles or the articles he has written and being cited. So in the third figure, in the second only, you will be able to see on the right hand side the tab which has citation report. Clicking on the citation report, you will be able to get the research results containing the publications of particular author, that is 100 in the name of the author I searched for. Second, the citing articles and the times it has been cited. Where on the extremely right hand side, you will be able to see the H index of the author's articles, that is publications and articles, that is 47 of the author's H index. Now let's see for the Scopus. Finding an author's H index in the Scopus, need to go to the Scopus database. Once in the Scopus, click on the authors tab. As you could see, type the name of the author and click on the search. By clicking on the author's search, you will be able to see the name of the author of the correct. If more than one has been the same of the type, you can select the author's name. The results page will provide you the author's detail, and you can view its H index and create graphs out of it, like it has been shown in the figure. Mintzberg Henry has been searched for, and on the left hand side in the second figure it shows the metric overview, which is in the red circle. The documents by the author is 81, citations by 8,146, documents is 9,485, and the H index is the 35, where it was shown in the last one as something around 47. Now here it shows as the 35 in figure. So by clicking, also there is one underlined view H graph, that is the H index graph. By clicking on that, you can view the author's H index graph. Now, finding an author's H index in Google Scholar. An author's H index is only available here if the author has created a user profile on the Google Scholar. So you need to go to this Google Scholar, search for the name of an author or the title of a work. Like I have searched for the Mintzberg. Under the title of the work, click on the author's name. All the work that has been written by him will be given, and you can just like in the second figure it shows, you can click on the his name and you will be able to get to his profile. Under the title of the work, click on the author's name if it is underlined, and the result page you open will be the author's Google Scholar public profile, where you can view the author's H index and the other matrices. So the other matrices will be available on the right hand side in the third figure, like you can cited by, view all. Citations are also given. H index, Itin Index is also mentioned here. So it's very easy to calculate and to find out the H index on either on the Google Scholar, Scopus, or the Web of Science. Now we'll need to know about the G index. G index is introduced as an improvement of the H index to measure the global citation performance of a set of articles. Leo Eggy proposed the G index in his paper Theory and Practice of the G index in 2006. So the calculation of the G index is as given a set of articles ranked in decreasing order of the number of citations that they receive. The G index is the largest number such that the top G articles received at the G square citations. For example, a G index of 30 means that an academic has published at least 30 articles that combined have received at least 600 citations. So it's 30 into 30, that is 600. Highly cited articles are given more weighted in the G index. Someone's G index will always be equal to or greater than the H index. Publish or Perish allows you to check your G index. These are the freely downloadable softwares for the academic citation analysis. The advantage of G index is that the inflated value of the G index helps give credit to the less cited or non-cited work while providing credit to highly cited papers. Whereas the disadvantage is that The G index is not widely accepted as the H index. Now we'll come to the Itin Index. The Itin Index is a matrix created by Google Scholar as an index to rank authors' impact, introduced in 2011. It calculates the number of academic publications an author has written that have at least 10 citations from others. This is one way to the productivity of the author. So the I10 index can be calculated as I10 index equals to the number of the publications with at least 10 citations. So the advantage of the I10 index is it's simple to use and easy to calculate, easily and freely accessible by using the My Citation features in the Google Scholar. While you open for the Google Scholar and you have your profile, you'll be able to get the My Citation there and you can just have it. So disadvantage of Itin Index is it's only be available and used in the Google Scholar.
Now let's learn what's the research visibility. Research visibility. From the point of view of the academic scholars, researchers, scientists, the research visibility is the utmost important topic to be known and to be aware of. So, what exactly the research visibility is? The researcher's work is increasingly influenced by activities aimed at promoting research. By making your research public and accessible, you enhance the likelihood of its being recognized, used, and having an influence, so enhancing your reputation and chances of academic success. Researchers are using a variety of activities and methods to advertise their work, network with the other researchers, and to participate in the academic discussions. So, for promoting their findings is becoming more common at all the stages of the research process, from discovery through analysis and writing to publishing, outreach, and assessment. From the point of view of the academic scholars, researchers, scientists, research visibility is the utmost important to know and be aware of. So now let's see how researcher or scientists or the academicians can increase the visibility and research impact of their research activities. So the first one is by getting a unique author identifier ORCID, that is ORCID, to distinguish yourself and your work from that of all the other researchers available. ORCID ID is increasingly becoming the choice of the academicians, publications, funding agencies, and research institutions with approximately 2 million users, which helps to as the identity used in the manuscripts and data submission processes, as well as metadata to link an author to their research results available. Second is by you can increase by sharing your outputs of your research. Your research activity is documented by publications, preprints, conference papers and posters, presentations, research data, videos and codes. So you may boost your research visibility by and preserve your outputs and make them available for future use by making them publicly accessible. Third is by creating and keeping up to date the online profile you have. So these could be just simple personal and institutional websites or the commercial services that allows you to display your professional achievements and the areas of specializations. The next step involves the engaging in the social networking communities. It's the great way to disseminate your research again and gain a reputation through active engagement in the research networking communities. Next is the blogging. Blogging is an excellent way to increase your visibility of work. When you publish a blog post, you are producing content that can easily be shared on social media because blog content is unrestricted to the publisher's restrictions. It can reach and influence much larger and more diversified audience. So with the blog, you may join a community of people with whom you can share thoughts and engage in discussions about the topics that interest you. With this help, you can establish yourself as an authority in your subject and obtain valuable feedbacks on your ideas and expand your professional network. And the last is the Twitter as we all use. So Twitter is an increasingly popular tool for researchers to popularize their research and build reputation. Now, what are the tools you can use to promote your visibility? So some tools are as follows. First is Google Scholar. Google Scholar citation profile is a popular tool to showcase your research outputs alongside citations associated with these outputs. It also calculates basic bibliometric impact indicators such as H-index and Itin Index. Second is the impact story tool. It is a free online tool that allows you to showcase your research outputs like publications, presentations, data, posters, codes, etc. together with, with the measure of their impact. Research Story uses ORCID profiles to find and import your scholarly works to make sure that your impact story has all your outputs. Make sure that you import them to the ORCID and sync your ORCID profile with the impact story. The impact story gets its data from the altmetrics.com, Mendeley, and the Twitter for tracing the impact, and the Crossref and ORCID for identify management and metadata. Third is the Kudos. Kudos is the new service that helps researchers promote their research outputs. It is currently free to use and allows you to showcase your publications by creating links to full text and including additional information like short titles, lay language explanations, impact statements, and link to additional related content such as underlying data, code, videos, slides, etc. In addition, it also offers a streamlined process for sharing your content via social media and allows you to monitor the results that and the activities. The next tool is the ResearchGate. We popularly as a researcher use. It's a academic social network founded in 2008 with over 5 million members. Its scope is multidisciplinary and has more features than its competitors, allowing you to enable additional strategies for obtaining reputation. It can be used to share publications, interact with the peers, collaborate, ask questions, and look for the jobs. It's also one of the few platforms that gives members a score. It enables members to create detailed profiles, upload content, and track the impact of their outputs, as well as their network activities. So, the following are some of the metrics available on the ResearchGate. Matrices available on the ResearchGate are publications count by type, which includes articles, conference papers, etc. Publications views by country and by the institutions. Full text downloads, dataset downloads, full text requests, Google referrals, that is for publications, genuine reviews, citations, and impact points. Also, the member profile views by country and by institutions. that is Google refer for profiles, questions asked, question answers, number of the followers, and the ResearchGate score, a score with a secret algorithm that is calculated based on how the other researchers interact with your content. The next tool is the academia. This is the another multidisciplinary academic networking site. It was launched in 2008, boosted over 13 million members. It is good for showcasing publications, and it provides basic statistics relating to the downloads. It has a strong profile and CV features, great for showcasing your achievements and expertise. Its available measures of impact includes the count for profile views, document downloads, unique visitors, external links to the documents, the geographic distribution of the visitors, and the referrals. So these are the tools which helps you to promote your visibility and the impact of the research work. So I hope I would be able to make you understand all the matrices that are available to the researchers and associated with the research. Also be able to I've also discussed on the concepts and be able to clear you the types of the tools that can be used for making the research visibility. And being a researcher or working on your topics and making your or you are undertaking your research projects, so you must be aware of all the matrices associated with the research and ways by which you can make outreach your research work and make it visible to the world. Thank you.